Hello, guys. One here in today's video. As for today, I'm going to read you guys uh, my guest characters for Mortal Kombat 1 game. This is my separate video for that. I'm going to talk about what characters like to see, for guest characters like to see for Mortal Kombat 11. I do have some returning characters for Mortal Kombat 1 and stuff, so I think it'd be pretty cool to see, return and stuff. Also, don't mind my hair, I just shower and stuff. So, I'm going to go ahead and read off what I have here and see what you guys think. Um, we have returning character Jason Voorhees from Mortal Kombat X. Now, I realized he was in Mortal Kombat X, but I think it'd be really cool if Ed Boon would do concepts of bringing not only returning characters but bringing more horror characters in Mortal Kombat games. I feel like they fit pretty well for these types of games, and some of their ladder when you put them in the ladder challenges and stuff, some of their story concepts are pretty interesting. Um, I just like to see Jason Voorhees return. I think it'd be pretty nice for him to return for Mortal Kombat 1. The next one I have here is Leatherface. I feel like Leatherface should return. His character was okay on Mortal Kombat X, but I feel like there's some other things you can do with him in 1 or something different. Freddy Krueger, I like to see him actually return since Mortal Kombat 9. I think he would interact in this type of mode will be really interesting, especially if you're doing like time going back in time type concepts, because I think it'd be pretty interesting for for Frey to interact and mess around with that. So, um, next one I have here is Michael Myers. Now, Michael Myers has been, I think, heavily wanted requested for Mortal Kombat, especially Mortal Kombat 11, because I think there was 2 other characters that were heavily requested that were from horror iconic franchises to be in the Mortal Kombat 11 that never got. Michael Myers, I know, was one of them. Ash Williams, and I'm pretty sure Ghostface was the other one. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think Ghostface was the one. So Michael Myers, Ghostface, Chucky. I think Chucky would be interesting for like a horror games. I can see him kind of moving around. Like I'm not really too sure which Ferrator. I'm not sure which one the short one is, but I can see him kind of being similar to like how the short character from Fairy and Tower interact. Next character I have here is Pennywise as It. I think Pennywise as It would be real interesting for a Mortal Kombat S game. The next thing I have here is Candyman. Um, I think Candyman would be really interesting for a game like this. Alien and Predator I like to see return. Both of them really cool characters for Mortal Kombat X and XL. So next one I have here is Pinhead from the Hellraiser movies. I think Pinhead would be a really interesting character, especially if he wanted to, since he kind of really releases hell on Earth pretty much. I think it'd be pretty interesting for him to do concepts with the other world, not other world, but the Hellspawn kind of world. So, another concept I have is another horror character I have here is Harry Warden, the miner from My Bloody Valentine movies, which there was a remake and a 80s slasher film. I think Harry Warden's here to be interesting to interact with, not only with fight with the horror characters, but I think it'd be kind of fun to have an underrated horror character put in here and stuff, especially for horror characters. So, and those are the horror characters I kind of put out. Now, if you have horror characters you'd like to see it put in here, let me know in the comment section below. I'd like to see what you guys think on for horror characters and stuff. Now, since NetherRealm Studios does stuff with like DC comics and things, I did find some DC characters I'd like to see get put in here. Harley Quinn, Deadshot, King Shark, Killer Croc, Peacemaker. I'm aware that Peacemaker is one of the guest characters joining. Deathstroke, Black Manta, Bane. I think Bane would be an interesting character for Mortal Kombat, especially his big old dude just like body slamming you, power slamming to the ground. It'll be really kind of interesting. Because, like, some of his move sets, I could see it would be, like, some concepts would be, like, WWE-like style. Because I could see him, like, I could see one move that he would have which would, like, a power driver to you. But, um, Bane is a character I have put in here. Killer Frost, I think would be an interesting character for, Mortal Kombat game. Katana from the Suicide Squad movie. I think her character would be really interesting for a game like this. Especially since you have Katana from Mortal Kombat versus the Katana from DC. I think that's a really interesting concept. Returning character, the Joker. I think the Joker would be a really interesting character to return for a game like this. There's a really cool character for Mortal Kombat 11. I think it'd be really interesting for him to come in for Mortal Kombat 1. Next character I have here is Wonder Woman and Hawk Girl. Now, Wonder Woman has no problem with like killing people, so that's one of the reasons why Wonder Woman would actually work in Mortal Kombat. Hawk Girl I can actually see working, especially with her mace. Cheetah, Red Hood, Damian Wayne's Robin, I could see working pretty well. Because he would be a savage. Green Arrow, I can see working pretty well in here. And then last one I have here is John Constantine. I can also see Zatanna working in here pretty well too. I just didn't really have her on my list, but one of those two would actually work pretty well for a Mortal Kombat game. Now the next characters I have here on the roster, are Doom Guy, since he is really heavily requested from the Doom games. Master Chief from the Halo games. That'd be pretty cool to have a Doom Guy and Master Chief fight concept. Why not? Judge Dredd. I noticed what's really interesting about Mortal Kombat. I noticed they like to get heavily involved with like characters from like Image Comics, for example, or IDW, and Dark Horse. Because I forgot you had Hellboy and Injustice, and see, I think Hellboy would be an interesting character for a Mortal Kombat game, which I do have on my list here as well. Next ones I have here are Omi-Man and Homelander. I am aware that they are guest characters coming. That's really interesting that they're both coming. So, next one I have here, I thought it'd be kind of interesting to have a character like this. These two characters, either one of them, they're from the Call of Duty franchise, and I had either Captain Price or Ghost from the Modern Warfare games. Ghost Simon Riley. I think it would be an interesting character for a Mortal Kombat like game, especially with his skull mask, face, and everything. I think it'd be kind of cool for him to interact in a Mortal Kombat game. Next one I have here is Ash Williams. I think Ash Williams should definitely be on here this time, since he should have been on 11, but hopefully they can actually fit him in here this time. Next one I have here is Deadpool. Now, the thing with Deadpool, I can see him breaking the fourth wall in Mortal Kombat and, like, you know, referencing, like, maybe a Marvel versus DC concept-like game at some point. Deadpool will definitely be the person to, like, throw that out there. Deadpool, I think would be a really cool character for a Mortal Kombat game, especially if you do a Deadpool versus Deathstroke concept. Okay. Next one I have here is returning character Spawn. I thought Spawn was a pretty cool character from Mortal Kombat 11. I definitely think it'd be pretty cool to bring his character back and stuff for 11 for Mortal Kombat 1 game. Sorry. The next one I have here is the Crow, which is Eric Draven. I think the Crow would be a really interesting concept for Mortal Kombat games. Especially some of the stuff he can do and things that I think would be really cool for his character. The next character I have here is Buffy from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I think she would work very well. Leon Kennedy from Resident Evil, I think, would be a really interesting character. Pyramid Head, Nemesis from Resident Evil and Silent Hill games. Another thing I threw on here, and I've kind of heard people kind of trying to request stuff with this, but I've seen people try to request stuff for anime characters, for example. And I kind of sat and tried to figure out like what anime characters would work for Mortal Kombat games, and I kind of came up with a top 5, maybe top 6 characters for Mortal Kombat characters that would work, that anime characters will work for a Mortal Kombat game. The first character I have here is Hisoka from Hunter x Hunter. I think his gesture look would be really interesting, and some of the stuff he could do from Hunter x Hunter I think would be really cool for um, Mortal Kombat stuff, and especially the card throwing stuff he can do. Like, that's kind of a cool thing. And two, I think it'd be pretty cool if you bring the Joker and him interacting. I think it'd be really interesting dialogue with the two. Um, Next one I have here is Ryuk from Death Note. I think Ryuk would be a really interesting character for Death Note. The Death Note I could see would be like an ultimate, like a would be like a special ability he can do, something with the Death Note book. Um, Since he has wings, I could see him doing like power slam, like takedowns with it or something. I don't know, just different things. Yeah, Ryuk for sure. And for Dragon Ball Z characters, since Goku doesn't really kill anybody, other than just fights them and tries to beat them at their best. The characters I thought of that would work, Dragon Ball Z characters I think that would work for anime for Mortal Kombat are characters, for instance, like Piccolo is a option I would think would work. Vegeta would work pretty well at it, and the next one I have is Trunks. And with a sword and stuff, there's different types of sets he could do off of their things that I think would be really interesting for him to do. So the next character I have here is Maruto Uchiha. I think Maruto Uchiha would work very well in a Mortal Kombat-esque like game. So his Asano form and the fan he carries around, I think would be really interesting. The last character I have here is Zoro from One Piece. I think would work pretty well in here, especially the three sword style. Um, those are the anime characters I have chosen for a Mortal Kombat game. There's a lot of characters I think that will. There's quite a few other characters out there that I think that could work and things. It's a lot of figuring out what you could do with that character and how to. So post a comment section below and tell me what you guys think, the guest characters you guys have to see in Mortal Kombat, come to Mortal Kombat 1, and what your top ones are, and what you're looking forward to. Post a comment section below, and if you'd like to hit the like button, and if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit the share button as always, and I'll see you in the next video, and goodbye.